There's something almost supernatural about how a Sigma empath reads people. While others get fooled by charm, confidence, or carefully chosen words, the Sigma empath feels what's real beneath the surface. Instantly, within seconds of meeting someone, they can sense emotional deception, not through logic, but through energy. A tone that's too smooth, a smile that doesn't reach the eyes, a story that sounds right but feels wrong. Their intuition picks up what words try to hide, and their empathy translates it into truth. It's not magic. It's awareness sharpened by pain, observation, and experience. Sigma empaths have spent years absorbing emotional energy, decoding people's motives, and learning the difference between authenticity and performance. That's why manipulators fail around them. Their empathy isn't weakness, it's radar. They don't just hear what you say, they feel what you mean. In this video, we'll uncover how Sigma empaths detect emotional deception faster than anyone else, how they use silence, body language, and intuition as their lie detectors. You'll understand the subtle signals they notice, the calm way they expose the truth, and why pretending around them never works. If you've ever sensed something off about someone before anyone else did, this video will help you understand why and how to use that gift with wisdom, not exhaustion. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to Brainy Empath, a channel where we explore the deep psychology of sensitivity, intuition, and quiet strength. And tell me in the comments, have you ever felt someone's true emotions before they spoke a single word? They feel emotional dissonance when someone's energy doesn't match their words. A Sigma empath doesn't listen to what you say, they feel what you mean. It's an instinct so subtle, most people don't even notice it happening. You could be smiling, speaking kindly, saying all the right things, but if your energy doesn't match your words, they feel it immediately. It's like hearing a song that's out of tune. The melody sounds fine, but something in the rhythm feels wrong. That tension, that unspoken disharmony triggers the Sigma empath's intuition like an alarm bell. They might not call it out, but they know something isn't real. To others, this awareness looks like intuition. To the Sigma empath, it feels like vibration. They can sense emotional dissonance in the smallest gestures, the hesitation before a compliment, the forced tone behind an apology, the quick glance away when the truth almost slips out. They've trained their nervous system to recognize authenticity by years of absorbing lies wrapped in love. Manipulation disguised as care. That's why they don't just hear words, they scan the entire emotional field behind them. This ability makes them both powerful and exhausted because once you can feel emotional dissonance, you can't unfeel it. Crowded rooms, fake smiles, empty praise, it all becomes sensory noise. The Sigma empath's body reacts before their mind even registers why. Their heart tightens, their energy shifts, and something deep inside whispers, this person isn't being honest. They don't need proof, they just know. And later, when the truth comes out, people wonder how they saw it coming. But what most don't realize is that this gift was born from pain. Sigma empaths learned to sense dissonance as a form of self-protection because at some point they had to. After being deceived, manipulated, or emotionally drained, their system adapted. It learned to read between the lines, to listen to energy over words. That's not paranoia, that's wisdom. So when a Sigma empath grows quiet in your presence, it's not disinterest, it's analysis. They're feeling, not judging. They're reading the truth you didn't say out loud. And once they sense that emotional split, that gap between what's said and what's felt, they don't confront you, they simply start to detach, because to a Sigma empath, authenticity is peace and dissonance is danger. Their intuition reacts to micro shifts in tone, eye contact, and body language. A Sigma empath can sense more in 5 seconds of silence than most people can in an hour of conversation. They don't just listen, they read. Every flicker in your expression, every subtle change in tone, every shift in posture becomes information. You can say all the right words, but if your voice trembles slightly, if your eye contact falters for just a second, or your body tightens when you speak, they catch it instantly. Their intuition reacts like lightning. They don't need evidence or logic to explain why something feels off. Their entire being simply knows. What makes this ability so powerful is how unconscious it is. The Sigma empath isn't analyzing you on purpose, it's instinct. Their nervous system is tuned like an instrument, constantly detecting energy shifts that others overlook. If your tone carries tension while your face shows calm, they'll feel the crack between those signals. If your smile hides irritation, they'll sense the resistance beneath it. Even a half-second delay in your response, a forced laugh, or an exaggerated gesture, all of it gets recorded in their mind as data that something doesn't align. This skill didn't come from studying psychology, it came from survival. Sigma empaths have lived through situations where reading these microsignals meant protection. They had to sense moods before they turned into storms, lies before they became betrayals, danger before it was visible. Over time, their awareness evolved into something sharper, an emotional radar that can pick up the truth beneath even the most polished mask. It's why manipulators feel uneasy around them. They can't maintain performance under that kind of silent observation. The Sigma empath's calm, steady gaze becomes too heavy, too revealing. Without saying a word, they make people stumble over their own lies. That's not intimidation, it's intuition doing its work. And what's remarkable is how effortless it looks. The Sigma empath doesn't confront or accuse, they simply see. They let others keep talking, giving them more time to expose themselves. Because in that stillness, the truth always slips through. A flicker of guilt, a nervous tone, a sudden shift in posture. The Sigma empath doesn't need to search for deception, it reveals itself. The moment their intuition locks in, they sense hidden motives because they feel the intention behind emotion. Most people listen to what's said. The Sigma empath listens to why it's being said. They don't just interpret emotion, they feel the motive underneath it. When someone speaks, their energy carries an emotional signature that reveals far more than their words ever could. You can say something sweet, but if the intention behind it is manipulation or control, the Sigma empath will feel the distortion instantly. They sense the temperature of energy, warm when it's real, cold when it's strategic. That sensitivity makes them immune to flattery because they aren't responding to tone or words, they're responding to truth. This isn't guesswork or paranoia, it's energetic literacy. The Sigma empath has spent a lifetime decoding emotional layers. They've experienced people who pretended to care while secretly competing, those who offered kindness only when they wanted something in return. Over time, they began to feel the difference between genuine emotion and emotional performance. Now, when someone approaches them, their intuition immediately registers the emotional frequency behind their presence. It's as if their mind steps aside and their body simply knows. That's why manipulators can't keep eye contact with a Sigma empath for long. They feel exposed, not because the empath can read their thoughts, but because the empath feels the insincerity vibrating through the interaction. A tone that's too smooth, a compliment that lands too heavy, a laugh that doesn't match the eyes. The Sigma empath feels the false intention wrapped inside it. They may not call it out, but internally the decision is already made. This energy isn't safe. What others see as hypersensitivity is actually emotional precision. The Sigma empath's ability to read intention protects them from emotional traps. They don't judge people for having flaws, but they withdraw when they sense hidden motives. Because once they feel an energy that doesn't align with honesty, it's already over. They can forgive words, but not frequency. And that's what makes their intuition so powerful. It bypasses logic entirely. You can argue facts, fake smiles, or create stories, but you can't fake the energy that drives them. The Sigma empath feels what's behind the mask. And once they sense your intention, good or bad, they never unfeel it. Their calm silence makes liars uncomfortable, revealing more than words ever could. A Sigma empath's greatest weapon isn't confrontation, it's silence. When someone lies to them, they don't react, argue, or demand the truth. They just go quiet. And that silence, it's not empty, it's heavy. It lingers in the air like a mirror, forcing the liar to face the reflection of their own deceit. Most people rush to defend themselves or prove a point, but the Sigma empath doesn't need to. They've already seen through the act. Now they're just giving the other person time to expose themselves. That calm silence is psychological pressure at its finest. A liar thrives on chaos, on distraction, on reactions that blur the truth. But when the Sigma empath offers nothing, no emotion, no interruption, no validation, the liar begins to unravel. Their tone shifts. Their story grows inconsistent. They start over-explaining, overcompensating, or changing the subject because silence removes their control. It strips away the illusion of confidence and leaves only discomfort. The Sigma empath doesn't even need to accuse. Their energy already says, I know. What makes this power so unique is how gentle it looks on the surface. There's no drama, no raised voice, no visible anger, just quiet observation. And that's what terrifies deceitful people the most. They can't predict how much the empath knows or when they'll act. That uncertainty eats at them. Every second of silence becomes a confession, every nervous glance a revelation. This calm presence isn't something the Sigma empath learned overnight. It's a skill refined through countless experiences with manipulation, betrayal, and emotional games. They realized long ago that truth doesn't need force. It needs space. So now, when dishonesty enters the room, they don't fight it. They let it implode on its own. Liars mistake silence for weakness, not realizing it's a trap, because the Sigma empath's quiet isn't submission, it's analysis. They're studying patterns, timing, and tone, gathering truth piece by piece. And by the time the liar senses something's wrong, it's already too late. The Sigma empath doesn't expose people through confrontation. They let their stillness do the work, because nothing reveals a lie faster than the kind of silence that cannot be fooled. They mirror people's emotions to test what's genuine and what's performed. Sigma empath's empathy isn't just compassion, it's strategy. When they meet someone, they subtly mirror their tone, their pace, even their emotional rhythm. It's not manipulation, it's detection. This mirroring creates emotional harmony, but it also exposes what's real. If the person's emotions are authentic, the connection deepens naturally, like two frequencies syncing in perfect balance. But if those emotions are fake, the illusion cracks instantly. The Sigma empath feels the static, that tiny energetic glitch that reveals this isn't real. They've learned this through experience. Too many times they gave understanding to people who were only pretending to be honest. Now they observe. They respond with the same warmth or vulnerability they're given, not to please, but to measure. If the other person's reactions shift unnaturally, or if their energy feels inconsistent, the Sigma empath senses it right away. It's like emotional sonar sending out gentle waves and waiting for what bounces back. If authenticity returns, they trust. If manipulation echoes, they detach. What makes this ability so powerful is how invisible it is. The Sigma empath doesn't announce that they're testing anyone. They simply feel the authenticity in motion. A liar may mimic emotions to seem trustworthy, but they can't maintain emotional harmony with someone whose intuition runs that deep. Within minutes, the Sigma empath picks up the subtle lag, the hesitation before a forced smile, the missing resonance behind a compliment, the overplayed concern that feels just a bit too theatrical. This mirroring skill also protects their peace. By reflecting emotions back, they force others to face themselves. A kind person feels understood. A manipulative one feels exposed. It's a silent, almost mystical process, like emotional truth surfacing without a single question asked. The Sigma empath doesn't need proof to see through people. They let energy reveal itself. Every conversation becomes a quiet exchange of authenticity, and they always know when something doesn't fit. It's not about judging others, it's about preserving emotional integrity. Because in a world full of performers, the Sigma empath doesn't compete for attention. They simply stand still, mirror what's in front of them, and wait to see who flinches first. Past betrayals sharpened their instincts. Pain became their emotional compass. Every Sigma empath has walked through emotional fire, the kind that doesn't just burn, but reshapes who you are. They've been betrayed by people they trusted, drained by those they tried to save, and broken by the weight of their own compassion. But instead of turning bitter, they turned aware. Each wound became a signal, each heartbreak a lesson in emotional detection. What once felt like pain now functions as intuition, a built-in radar that warns them long before deception reaches the surface. When someone approaches them with a hidden motive, that old pain stirs like an alarm, not in fear, but in recognition. They've felt this energy before, the tightness in the chest, the sudden fatigue, the way a conversation feels heavier than it should. It's all familiar data to them now. Their body remembers what their mind once ignored. That's why they no longer dismiss discomfort, they listen to it. Pain trained them to sense danger before it even has a name. This transformation didn't happen overnight. There was a time when they doubted their own intuition, when they over-explained, forgave too easily, or believed everyone could change. But betrayal has a way of clarifying what empathy can't. Through heartbreak, they learned that energy never lies. Now, when they feel that subtle unease, they don't argue with it. They trust it completely. Pain taught them discernment, the rare ability to feel what's wrong without needing proof. People mistake this emotional sharpness for coldness. They think the Sigma empath has become detached, distant, or guarded, but what they've really become is wise. Their instincts no longer operate from fear, they operate from calibration. The same sensitivity that once left them exposed is now their greatest defense. So when the Sigma empath senses danger, they don't confront it. They quietly adjust. They protect their peace, lower their energy output, and walk away before anyone even notices. Because pain gave them the one thing most people never develop: emotional direction. And once you've been betrayed deeply enough, your instincts stop whispering and start guiding. The Sigma empath no longer needs closure or explanations. They have something far better: an inner compass built from every scar they survived. They can stay empathetic without being emotionally manipulated. The Sigma empath has mastered a rare balance, caring deeply without being controlled by that care. There was a time when their empathy made them an easy target. Manipulators saw kindness as weakness and compassion as permission. They used guilt, pity, and emotional confusion to pull strings, but those days are gone. The Sigma empath has learned to separate empathy from obligation, to feel for others without losing themselves in their pain. They can look into someone's suffering, understand it completely, and still maintain their own emotional boundaries. What makes them powerful is their emotional clarity. They can sense when someone's sadness is real and when it's being used as leverage. A manipulator may try to play the victim, spinning stories that tug at the heart, but the Sigma empath feels the difference. Authentic pain resonates while fake pain drains. Their intuition recognizes when empathy is being weaponized. So now, instead of rescuing everyone, they observe quietly. They offer compassion where it's earned and silence where it's not. This evolution didn't come from theory, it came from heartbreak. The Sigma empath has been through emotional warfare where their kindness was twisted against them, but each time they were deceived, they refined their emotional radar. They realized that being kind doesn't mean being available to everyone. Their empathy is now intentional, not automatic. They can sit with someone's pain without absorbing it, support someone's growth without carrying their weight, and care deeply without being consumed. To outsiders, this calm detachment can look cold, but it's not. It's wisdom. It's emotional maturity. The Sigma empath knows that the highest form of compassion includes self-protection, because if you're constantly drained, you can't genuinely care. Now, manipulators find no weakness in them, only stillness. Guilt no longer hooks them, emotional drama no longer moves them. They've learned that real empathy doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It means understanding people so well that you can see when to walk away. The Sigma empath's heart remains open, but it's guarded by discernment. They've become the kind of person who can love without losing themselves, a rare force of calm strength in a world full of emotional chaos. And that's what makes them truly untouchable. When they sense deception, they detach quietly and protect their peace. The Sigma empath doesn't expose liars, they outgrow them. The moment deception enters the room, they feel it before a single word confirms it. It's not magic, it's emotional intelligence sharpened by experience. The tone changes, the energy shifts, the warmth between two people suddenly cools. Most wouldn't notice, but the Sigma empath feels that fracture deep within, and instead of confronting or demanding honesty, they choose something far more powerful: silence and distance. And They've learned that exposure isn't necessary when truth always reveals itself. They don't argue, accuse, or explain their withdrawal. They simply fade, leaving manipulators to battle with their own guilt and confusion. This quiet detachment is their final boundary. Clean, calm, and absolute. It's not punishment, it's preservation. The Sigma Empath values peace over the illusion of connection. They know that once deception enters, trust can't be rebuilt. And without trust, love turns into performance. People often mistake this withdrawal for coldness, but what they don't see is the emotional weight that led to it. The Sigma Empath didn't stop caring, they just stopped sacrificing themselves for false harmony. Their silence isn't passive, it's protection. They're not trying to prove who's right, they're choosing who's worth it. Every time they walk away from deception, they reclaim another piece of their energy that was once lost to emotional chaos. What makes their detachment so profound is its grace. They don't slam doors or burn bridges. They simply disappear into their solitude, carrying wisdom instead of bitterness. And in that stillness, they recharge. Their peace becomes their revenge. Those who lied eventually realize what they've lost, someone who could see their pain, forgive their flaws, and love them deeply despite it all. But by then, it's too late. The Sigma Empath doesn't seek closure because they've already found it. In calmness, in distance, in truth. They understand that walking away isn't weakness, it's evolution. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's survival. So when they sense deception, they don't fight for explanations or apologies. They simply rise above the noise, retreat into their stillness, and let silence say everything words never could. When a Sigma Empath finally learns to protect their peace, there's no going back. Their silence becomes sacred, their heart becomes selective, and their energy, once scattered across broken promises, now flows only where truth lives. They don't chase closure because they are the closure. They've mastered the art of walking away with grace, turning pain into intuition and empathy into armor. If you've ever felt this shift, that quiet moment when you stop explaining, stop fighting, and simply detach, you already understand the Sigma Empath's strength. Your peace is your power, your distance is your healing, and your silence, it's your loudest transformation. If this spoke to your soul, tap peace in the comments to let others know you're part of this quiet awakening. And don't forget to subscribe to Brainy Empath, where we decode the silent power, emotional mastery, and deep psychology of true empaths like you.